You finally achieved the thing you wanted for months, maybe even years. For a moment, it felt incredible. Then something strange happened. The excitement faded, faster than you expected. And before long, your mind quietly searched for the next goal, the next purchase, the next achievement. Why? The real answer is far stranger. Your brain was never designed to keep you happy after success. It was designed to keep you moving. Imagine one of your ancestors finally catching a deer after days without food. If they celebrated for weeks, they would starve before the next hunt. Evolution rewarded individuals who quickly shifted from satisfaction back to survival. That tiny mental reset helped your ancestors stay alive. Today, the same mechanism still runs inside your brain. Psychologists call part of this pattern the hedonic treadmill. Researchers such as Brickman and Campbell described how people rapidly adapt to positive changes. Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman also showed that our memories of experiences often differ from how we actually feel while living them. Your mind constantly normalizes success. That is why a new phone becomes ordinary. A promotion becomes your new normal. Even reaching a lifelong dream eventually feels familiar. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what hundreds of thousands of years of evolution trained it to do. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge separates wanting from liking. Dopamine is deeply involved in motivation and pursuit, not simply pleasure. Your brain often enjoys chasing the reward more than possessing it. Once the goal is reached, motivation drops, and attention shifts toward the next opportunity. This made perfect sense in a dangerous world. A tribe that stopped gathering food because yesterday's meal was delicious would not survive very long. Modern life, however, surrounds you with endless goals. Social media constantly presents someone richer, fitter, happier, or more successful. Your ancient brain interprets each comparison as another unfinished mission, so the finish line keeps moving. That feeling of emptiness after success is not proof that your achievement was meaningless. It is evidence that your survival system is still trying to protect you in a world that no longer resembles the one it evolved for. Understanding this changes everything. Instead of expecting permanent happiness from the next milestone, you can learn to appreciate progress, relationships, purpose, and moments that your brain would otherwise rush past. The next time success feels strangely short-lived, remember this. You are not failing to enjoy your life. You are carrying a brain that was built to keep searching. Because for almost all of human history, stopping the search meant risking survival. One reason this ancient system is so difficult to notice is because it rarely announces itself. It whispers. It tells you that one more promotion will finally make you feel secure. One more purchase will finally make you feel complete. One more accomplishment will finally earn the respect you've been searching for. Each promise sounds unique, but your brain has made the same promise thousands of times before. Look back through your own life. There was probably a time when getting your first phone felt unimaginable. A time when finishing school seemed like the biggest milestone in the world. A time when earning your own money felt like ultimate freedom. Each goal carried enormous emotional weight before it happened. Each one eventually became normal. That pattern isn't a coincidence. It is one of the oldest behavioral loops in human history. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies have found that survival depended on constant adaptation. Food sources changed, weather changed, predators changed, neighboring tribes changed. Standing still was rarely an option. The people who constantly noticed opportunities often survived longer than those who assumed today's success guaranteed tomorrow's safety. Your brain inherited that strategy. But modern life changed the environment faster than evolution could change the brain. Instead of searching for food, you're searching for notifications. Instead of tracking animal footprints, you're tracking likes, followers, salaries, and status. The objects have changed. The instinct hasn't. This helps explain something that confuses many people. Why do celebrities with fame still feel empty? Why do billionaires continue chasing more wealth? Why do Olympic champions return to training only weeks after winning gold? From the outside, it seems irrational. From an evolutionary perspective, it makes perfect sense. Their brains are running the same operating system as yours. The finish line keeps moving because movement itself once meant survival. Psychologist Abraham Maslow is often remembered for his hierarchy of needs. People usually imagine the pyramid ending with self-actualization. But what is often forgotten is that growth never truly stops. Every time one layer becomes stable, another challenge appears. Humans naturally expand toward new possibilities. Growth is healthy. Confusing growth with permanent happiness is where disappointment begins. Another fascinating discovery comes from behavioral economics. Researchers have repeatedly shown that people adapt surprisingly quickly to both positive and negative events. Lottery winners often return close to their previous happiness levels after enough time passes. Many people who experience setbacks also recover emotionally far more than they originally expected. Your emotional system is remarkably flexible. That flexibility protected your ancestors. If one bad season permanently destroyed motivation, they would never hunt again. If one successful season permanently satisfied them, they would stop preparing. Adaptation allowed both recovery and continued effort. The same system is working inside you every single day. Think about your favorite song. The first time you heard it, it may have given you chills. After hearing it hundreds of times, those feelings naturally fade. The music didn't become worse. Your brain simply became familiar with it. Novelty lost its power. Now imagine applying that same principle to achievements. The first salary feels unforgettable. The 10th feels routine. The first compliment stays with you for days. Years later, compliments may barely register. This is not because life becomes less beautiful. It is because your brain constantly filters familiar experiences into the background to focus on potential opportunities and possible threats. Attention is limited. Evolution taught your mind where to spend it. Understanding this changes how you define success. Success is no longer something that magically removes dissatisfaction forever. Instead, success becomes fuel. Fuel for learning. Fuel for contribution. Fuel for building a meaningful life rather than chasing a permanent emotional high that evolution never intended you to experience. The happiest moments often appear when you become completely absorbed in what you're doing. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called this state flow. During flow, your attention leaves the endless chase for more and becomes fully invested in the present challenge. Time seems to disappear. You stop measuring your worth against tomorrow because you're completely engaged today. Perhaps that is why artists continue painting, why musicians continue composing, why scientists continue asking impossible questions. The reward isn't only reaching the destination, it is becoming absorbed in the journey itself. And maybe that is the lesson your ancient brain has been trying to teach all along. Not that you should stop chasing dreams, but that dreams were never meant to be places where happiness permanently lives. They are directions, not destinations. There is another reason achievement feels so different before and after it happens. Your imagination is almost always more powerful than reality. Before you achieve something, your brain fills in the missing pieces. It imagines how confident you'll feel, how respected you'll become, how peaceful life will finally be. Those imagined emotions are often exaggerated because your brain is trying to motivate you. It's selling you the future. Once the future becomes the present, imagination disappears. Reality takes its place. And reality always contains ordinary moments. Even your dream house still needs cleaning. Your dream job still has stressful mornings. Your dream relationship still has disagreements. Your dream body still requires maintenance. The dream wasn't fake. It was simply human. This is why so many people become trapped in an endless cycle of, I'll be happy when ... I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I find someone. Years pass. The sentence changes, but the ending never does. I'll be happy when ... Your ancestors couldn't afford to think this way. They couldn't postpone living until the next hunt. Life itself happened between the hunts, around the fire, while telling stories, while raising children, while repairing tools, while watching the stars. Survival depended on tomorrow. Meaning was often found today. Modern life quietly reverses that balance. You spend enormous energy preparing for a future that never fully arrives because every future eventually becomes another present. Then another future replaces it. The cycle continues. Ancient philosophers noticed this long before neuroscience existed. The Stoics argued that much of human suffering comes from attaching happiness to things outside your control. Buddhist teachings reached a remarkably similar conclusion through a different path, suggesting that craving itself creates suffering because desire constantly generates another desire. Thousands of years later, psychology began discovering evidence that pointed in a similar direction. Different cultures, different centuries. A surprisingly similar observation. The mind rarely stops wanting. That doesn't mean wanting is wrong. Without desire, humanity would never have explored oceans, built cities, invented medicine, or walked on the moon. The danger isn't desire. It's believing desire has an endpoint. It doesn't. Your brain evolved to keep updating the target. Imagine climbing a mountain. From the bottom, the summit looks like the finish. But once you reach it, you suddenly notice another mountain beyond it. Not because someone moved the first mountain, because your perspective changed. Success changes perspective more than emotion. The higher you climb, the farther you can see. And the farther you can see, the more possibilities appear. This explains why successful people often become even more ambitious. From the outside, it looks like greed. Sometimes it is, but often it's simply perspective expanding faster than satisfaction. The brain isn't asking for more because what you have is worthless. It's asking for more because that's the strategy evolution rewarded for hundreds of thousands of years. The question, then, isn't how to stop wanting. That's impossible. The better question is this: can you enjoy climbing while knowing another mountain will always exist? Because if the answer is yes, you'll stop treating happiness as a destination and start experiencing it as something that quietly appears throughout the journey itself. There's one final piece of the puzzle, and it may be the most important one. Your brain doesn't measure happiness. It measures change. Imagine walking into a room that's freezing cold. A few minutes later, it doesn't feel quite as cold. Not because the temperature changed, because you did. The same thing happens with success. Your emotional system is built to notice differences, not constants. The first compliment makes your heart race. The 100th barely catches your attention. The first paycheck feels unforgettable. Years later, payday can feel like just another Friday. Your brain isn't taking these things for granted on purpose. It's conserving attention. Attention is expensive. Throughout evolution, wasting attention on familiar things could mean missing something that truly mattered. A predator hiding in the grass, a storm approaching, a stranger entering the camp. The familiar became background. The unusual demanded focus. Today, that same system makes yesterday's dream feel ordinary, and tomorrow's possibility feel irresistible. This realization can feel discouraging at first. If satisfaction always fades, what's the point of achieving anything? The point was never permanent excitement. The point is growth. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Eventually it becomes effortless. Would you wish you had never learned it simply because it no longer feels exciting? Of course not. Its value didn't disappear. It became part of you. Success works the same way. Your achievements stop feeling extraordinary because they become your new identity. The confidence you once dreamed of becomes normal confidence. The skills you fought to develop become ordinary habits. The life you once imagined becomes your everyday reality. That isn't failure. That's transformation. The greatest accomplishments often become invisible because you've grown into the person capable of carrying them effortlessly. Instead of asking, why doesn't this make me happy anymore? Try asking a different question. Who have I become because of this journey? That question has a very different answer. You may discover more patience, more resilience, more discipline, more wisdom. Those are rewards adaptation cannot erase. They become part of your character. And character travels with you long after excitement fades. So keep chasing meaningful goals. Build the business. Write the book. Learn the language. Train your body. Travel the world. Fall in love. Dream boldly. Just don't expect any single achievement to permanently silence the oldest instinct inside your mind. It won't, because that instinct wasn't built to celebrate forever. It was built to help your ancestors survive another day. Now, instead of fighting that ancient programming, you can work with it. Celebrate your victories. Pause before rushing to the next mountain. Notice the ordinary moments your brain tries to ignore. Laugh with people you love. Watch a sunset without taking a picture. Enjoy a meal without reaching for your phone. Remind yourself that this moment, the one your brain already calls ordinary, was once something your past self desperately hoped would happen. Perhaps that's the greatest secret of all. Happiness isn't hiding behind the next achievement. It keeps appearing in the places your ancient brain has stopped noticing. So the next time you finally get what you wanted and you feel that familiar emptiness beginning to appear don't panic. Don't assume you chose the wrong dream. And don't believe you're broken. You're simply carrying a brain that was designed for a world where stopping meant dying. But you no longer live in that world, which means, for the first time in human history, you have a choice. You can keep running forever, or you can occasionally stop look around and realize that the life you're chasing may already be the life you're living, because you finally got the thing you wanted. And the real victory was never the destination. It was becoming the person who was capable of reaching it.